Hi, my name is Adam Manley, and I'm the board member for Applegate Trails, and just wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on. The agenda for this short little presentation is going to be, I want to share the budget with you. I think it's easier than trying to type all this. I'll just talk about it. We have a formally approved budget for 2018. Also want to give you an update on snow plowing, what's going on with that, and then the more fun part of this conversation is going to be the social activities that the social committee have come up with for next year and now. So the 2018 budget that's been approved looks like this. Just a couple acronyms on there. AGT stands for Applegate Trails, which are all of you and me and the rest of the board. Applegate Trails South is the community that's going in to the south of us. You can't really tell that it's a different community. In fact, probably most of us think it's the same community, but it's not technically and legally because of the Michigan Condo Act. Allen Edwin ran out of time when they were developing this piece of land, Applegate Trails, and so according to Michigan law, they had to actually start a new community in order to complete the development, and they've named that community Applegate Trails South. There's nothing we can do about it. I've looked into it. Our lawyers looked into it, and so what we did was the only other option, which is we have worked with and negotiated what's called a cost share agreement with Applegate Trails South and Applegate Trails. So this cost share agreement requires every resident in Applegate Trails South to contribute a certain portion of their dues to us. And then as a result, we maintain the common areas and the roads that we share as a community, even though we're two separate communities. So utilities, snow removal, road salt, lawn mowing, landscaping, road maintenance, fertilization, basin maintenance, all that stuff are the things that are highlighted in yellow, and those are the things that the cost share agreement covers. And so because there are 58 lots essentially that are going to eventually go in at Applegate Trails South, the ratio is whatever we estimate in our budget, they have to contribute 31% of that. And so you'll notice at the far top right, Applegate Trails homes, there's 58 of those. And so when you do the math on those items that are highlighted in yellow, what you find is that Applegate Trails South residents or each home site will have to contribute $139.23 to the 2018 budget. Now the issue, and what we had to also negotiate with Allen Edwin is that no one lives in Applegate Trails South yet. There's only really one home that even has siding on it right now. There are plenty of homes that are sold, though. And so what we've agreed to with Allen Edwin, and I actually commend them on this, is fairly generous. It's not written anywhere in a deed or bylaw to do this, is that they've agreed to pay the full $139.23 per lot that is sold. And as you recall, when you're building homes with Allen Edwin, you buy the land before the home is even constructed. So if there's a sold marker out there and it's officially sold, a piece of land, then they'll contribute the money regardless of when it happens in 2018. So if someone buys a lot on December the 25th, 2018, they will pay the $139 for 2018, even though there's only a few more days left in the year. So it won't be prorated. So that's what's going on with them. So the full estimate of 58 homes for $8,000 worth of revenue, obviously that's just what you do with a budget. There won't be 58 sold homes by the end of this year, but there probably will be 20 or so, and so the budget will kind of come in somewhat close to the estimate, but you have to kind of budget it accordingly. So if you look, Applegate Trails, we're paying $240 a year, and so we'll contribute $30,720, and so if we'll have a revenue of about $38,796. That's estimated. Obviously, it's going to come in lower because we're not fully stocked in Applegate Trails South yet. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory on there. I guess the only thing to mention is that we did add a social fund to the budget because of the social activities we want to do. I think it's really important for a couple reasons. One, that social fund helps us kind of develop even more of a sense of community through some activities that I'm going to mention. But also, since we are technically two separate communities, I'd like to work at developing one community. And so all these social activities that we want to have I'm going to invite Applegate Trail South residents to be a part of that as well. So when it comes to snow plowing, this is always the fun time of the year when we start to question why we moved to Michigan, but nonetheless, when it comes to snow plowing, the way we have it set up now is that they are supposed to come out when we get roughly 2 inches. Of course, that's roughly because everywhere changes with the snow belts, but every 2 inches, and that's just to keep the snow level down, because it's more money if we wait until 5 or 6 inches and then do a request call for them to come out. It's going to cost actually more money than if they just run out here and just blow down the roads every couple inches. When it comes to salting, though, we do salt upon request. The beginning of the winter is always a time where we have a lot of thawing and then freezing, and so it causes ice, and so we do contact them occasionally to come and salt. Salt is incredibly expensive. My last HOA that I was president of, we were on hills, and so we had to salt, and it was an incredible expense, anywhere between $4,000 to $7,000 a year just in salt alone. So we aren't going to do any type of full road salting. One, because we're fairly flat and most of the areas are straight. On the curves and intersections, we will be salting when needed. We ask that you just drive slow and careful. And we will not be doing any back plowing, which is, I'm sure some of you that have lived here long enough, we get those nice little mountains at the end of our driveway when the snowplow goes by. Well, those mountains will continue. I'm sorry to say that. We just can't afford to have the plow go in and back plow every area where the mountain occurs as they drive by on the road. We do ask that you don't park in the streets when we're going to have snow events if you can help it, because obviously that just causes kind of a headache for the plows and they aren't able to fully plow the streets. If you have any concerns whatsoever, we're happy to hear them. You can email us at applegatetrailshoa@gmail.com. On a lighter note, we have a social committee, and they have been hard at work developing some wonderful activities for the 2018 year. Samantha Rowe, which is a board member for Applegate Trails, heads up that committee, and so she was able to find some wonderful people to help out that are all Applegate Trails residents. We have Barb Cahill, Jennifer Ferguson, and Eric Gagnon. Here's some of the activities that they've come up with. Right now, we're right in the middle of one of those activities. It's the You've Been Elfed activity, and so that's where they go around and they leave a little something at your door. So some of you have been elfed, and some of you that haven't been elfed, hopefully you eventually will be elfed. And then they've also developed an activity called Taste of Applegate Trails, which will be over in the Applegate Clubhouse on February 17 from 5 to 8 p.m. There'll be more information I'm going to send out in an email as we get closer to that event, and also an electronic sign-up form. So that'll be essentially a potluck where we get to taste all the goodies that make up Applegate Trails. In the summer, on June 23rd, we'll have the summer kickoff, Applegate Trails Summer Kickoff Party. That's also where we'll have our annual business meeting, as well as we'll have a bunch of fun things for the kids and the dogs and everyone else to do. So that will be a great time. We'll probably block off one of our streets. It's looking like probably around Attlebury, but we haven't got all that all formalized yet, so there'll be obviously more to come. In October, we will celebrate Diwali, which is the Festival of Lights. It's India's biggest holiday. Diwali symbolizes victory of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, good over evil, hope over despair. It's a wonderful holiday that I think should be a part of the activities that we do at Applegate Trails. And I'm really excited that the social committee decided to do something with this. Later on in October, we will host our HOA Halloween booth again, but this year we're going to also add a haunted garage to it for the kids. So I think that'll be a lot of fun, so more to come with that. At the entrance, or what's called the boulevard, when you first pull in, where you've got the island there with our sign for Applegate Trails, We plan on running electricity to that island and also electricity to the other side. There's only electricity on one side of that entrance, so that we have electricity on all three sides. And we didn't have time to do it this year, but next year we really want to do something with that where we can have a holiday lighting ceremony so we can make our entrance look really beautiful. And so that'll be sometime in late November or early December of next year. We'll have a holiday lighting ceremony for the HOA. So wonderful events. I'm so proud of the social committee for coming up with some really cool stuff, and look forward to meeting all of you that I haven't met at one of these events. That's all I got for you. I hope you have a great holiday. If you need to contact us, it's Applegate Trails HOA at gmail.com. Talk to you later.